Hi, this is Dee with Critical Break and Technical Issues. So, critical break indeed. I was trying to use a new program to do this because I really wanted the audio to be much better. Because doing it in this way, what you'll get is my speakers through my microphone, and the audio is just not going to be as good. But my program didn't work. It just sat there going crazy. We tried it a couple of times, so I give, at least for today. Maybe I'll test that more in the future, some other methods maybe, perhaps. So much for that idea. Anyway, this is about an aerial encounter that I experienced back on the 11th, and I was trying to decide whether I should put together the video and upload it or do it live stream. I don't know. Hopefully you all will um, get the full effect of what occurred that day. I'm hoping. Um, anyway. So now I'm going to check the chat and things and all that fun stuff. So give me just a minute here so I can get to that. Okay, good. I didn't have that one of those days, but yay, it's Friday, my favorite day of the week. So good to see you, Miss Kate and Sir Scotty. Very good to see you guys. Okay, so you guys can hear me okay. Video's okay, right? I'll have to take those other two down. uh, so much for the first attempt at trying to use another program, right? So anyway, yes, this is about an aerial encounter that happened on the 11th. I talked about it a little bit already. There was a plane going over all day long. Every time I'd step outside, it was there. And after about the fourth or fifth occurrence, I stepped out and started snapping off pictures. And something very interesting occurred. And there was a lot of interesting things that showed up on the photographs. And then even more interesting events when I started running video of what was going on out there. Look at it and judge for yourself. I know what I'm seeing, and I think you guys are going to be really shocked. I don't really start snapping off photos unless something really grabs my attention. And usually, if it's grabbing my attention, it's because my inner guts are telling me you need to pay attention to this. You know what I mean? So, yay. So what I will do is share screen and show you all what happened that day. And yeah, let's just get started because you guys are gonna find this highly interesting. I know I did. So here we go. Off to the races. Show and tell time. It's really good to see all of you, by the way. Okay, we'll start out with the photographs because that's what I first started doing. Here's the first photo. This is the plane that was going over all day long. As you see, it is a prop plane, and based on what I was hearing, it was a prop plane, but it seemed like a much newer prop plane because it is a twin engine. and it was very quiet for a twin engine plane of that size. And as you also notice, there's no passenger windows. So this is not a passenger plane. Um, I showed it to someone else and they mentioned that it appeared to be a cargo plane of some sort. Why it was going over my house all day long, I don't know. um, when I first looked it up, the only plane I could find that even remotely looked like it was a U-2, which is a type of spy plane. Um, the design is very indicative of that plane, but it is a prop plane and not a jet plane. So I don't know, but we'll zoom in on this plane so you get a good idea. See what I mean? You see the props, so it's obviously a prop plane. But you look down the side, there's no windows. Nothing. Wow, okay, this is first time I just noticed that. Right here and right here, there's interesting protrusions from the plane. I didn't notice that before. Okay. So we're discovering some new things about these photos right now together. Okay. Um, this is the second image. Yeah, there's definitely protrusions under there. Huh. You see what I'm talking about? There's no passenger windows on that plane. Um, this is getting more interesting the more I look at it. And no real distinguishing features on the plane. Huh. Okay. Let's see what photograph number. Okay, here we go. This picture gets interesting too. As I was zooming in, because I was trying to tell what kind of plane this was, as I was zooming in, and this is I got the Mandela effect when I went back through these pictures because I could not find the picture with the orb ship. And then later I went back through them again and found it. So right here, you can faintly see just out ahead of it is one of the orb ships. It's so faint, but it's there. See if we can get a close look at the plane. So you can see a window here, but nothing else down the side. And these two protrusions here, that's really got me fascinated. I didn't notice that till today. But yeah, you can't really make out that ship, except for it's just like a ghost almost. Now that's interesting. What is that? Let me see where that's located on the photo. That's right there. So it's going to be in that zone. Let me see if that shows up in that zone on this picture. Yeah, okay. That's a sensor defect right there. That little dot, I think, unless, let me go out a couple of pictures forward and see if I still see that defect. Yeah, it's a sensor defect, I think. We'll look at some of the further pictures. If it is, that is a sensor malfunction right there with that pixel. Okay. So just trying to figure out what's going on here with these photos. Anyway, we'll just click through You can kind of look at the plane. This is fairly clear. You can tell it's late in the day with this going on. As far as the 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 plane right here is heading westbound at this while I'm taking these photos, and you can see the sun, how it captures on the plane. It's not super bright because we're starting to lose daylight. So anyway, I'll just move through these pictures. Okay, it's going off over the house. And it did this all day long. Okay. As I was clicking these off, I heard a second plane coming into the area. And this is the second plane. A small single engine, 4-seater. The other person I showed it to knew precisely what plane type of plane this was. It does look similar to what I used to fly, which was a Piper Cherokee. But you know, with the underwings and not the overhead wings. But this little plane comes into view, and I start clicking off photographs of this little plane as it's coming. It's off to my north, heading eastbound. And remember, I just got done taking pictures of the other plane heading westbound. Okay, this one's going eastbound, and nowhere near each other at this point. Nowhere near each other. Pretty clear photographs. Can zoom in pretty tight. Pixelates a little bit, but you get a really good idea of what it looked like. Yeah, that definitely is not a Piper Cherokee because where the aileron is at is not the way a Cherokee's line is fitted with theirs. Gosh, if the angle had been just right, I could have had a picture of the pilot too. Right? So I'm sitting here just taking pictures of this little plane now that came into view. It goes back over. There's one point where I actually got the numbers on the side of his plane. It's an N18681, possibly. And I'm just happily clicking pictures off of the plane. This one should be, yeah, you can see the tail numbers really well on there. But the landing gear on this plane is fixed. These don't go up into the plane or anything like that. They stay fixed, which is very common with your single prop. Okay. This was the last picture that I clicked off before suddenly the other plane was inside the same frame, meaning that other plane, the big one that I'd been taking pictures of, all of a sudden was inside the same frame with this plane. That means they were like headed right at each other. And I wish I had clicked off a picture right that moment, but it freaked me out so bad that I lifted my head out from behind the camera to get an eyeball on it. And I was like, holy crap, those guys just nearly collided. It reminded me of like they were playing chicken. It was weird. Anyway, so I start clicking off photos of this plane as it's exiting. Notice the direction these planes are facing. This one's going this way. This one's going this way. And so I'm like, okay, this is really weird. And suddenly I'm getting this bird in the photographs. Now that is another thing that kind of I thought was really interesting. Because you zoom in and you can clearly see it's a bird. Looks like some sort of a hawk. And we do have lots of hawks here, so no big surprise. But I, started clicking off pictures of this second, the first plane that I was photographing in the first place. And he is leaving the area at this point, and you can still see the bird here. And it almost looks like, I don't know, it's weird. But see, you can see these protrusions hanging from the bottom of this plane. And you can see there's no passenger windows. Nothing. Anyway, so I continued to click off pictures of the planes. That's the underside of the one that just ran off that bigger plane. Because when that plane, after the near collision, the one flew to the south and never returned. I never saw it again. And that was the one that was going over all day long. But you can see this is a much older aircraft. This one's been around the block for a while. But right there's the last photo. And I decided to go inside, and because the big camera does video, but it won't focus once you start it into video mode. So you can't refocus during recording time, which is very annoying. So I decided to run in and grab my phone and use the camera on that to capture some video, because I was like, what is going on out here? and I wanted to see if anything else happened. So now we're going to go to the video that I captured. Okay. I'm going to turn this up and hopefully you all hear it. I'm going to pull up the chat and you guys let me know if you can hear it okay, okay? I almost crashed into it. I still hear it off this direction somewhere. But they were that angle, like right in that area. They almost. Okay, I'm just stopping it for a minute so I can watch the chat catch up and let me know if you heard that okay. Could you hear the audio on that okay? Okay, good deal. Thank you. All right, so we'll go ahead and play the video. This is where things get even more interesting. Here we go. Crashed. Like, come on, back it up. The same frame, and I was zoomed off this direction somewhere. But they were that angle, like right in that area. They almost crashed. Like they were within the same frame, and I was zoomed in with a long lens. They were like really close. And now the plane that was flying over all day long today went off that direction, which is weird because it literally was doing circles around my house. I saw it multiple times. I even mentioned it to my father-in-law because it went over as I was talking to him on the phone. I was like, there's that plane again. I think I'm going to take pictures. So I did, because it came back around and went over again and again and again. I can still hear that other plane. The little one that almost crashed into the big one. I can still hear him. Is he? I'll pause this, see if he comes around. I can still hear him. Yeah, he's coming this way. He's low. Where is he? He's probably gonna come over the house here. He's over here somewhere. Where is he? I can hear him. There he is. He's coming right over the house. What? He's got problems. He's got problems. Listen to that engine. Oh, that's not good. Better get back to the airport. Better plan that thing. That engine's not sounding right. Is that over that way? Over the trees. You better get back to the airport. Uh-oh. Sounds like that engine's giving out. Hope he makes it to the runway. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think he lost his engine. Uh-oh. Wow. All right. Now, I'm going to check the chat, and then we're going to review this very slowly because some very interesting things showed up on the video that I didn't even realize was there until I really started looking. But I'll check the chat and see what you guys are up to real quick. You can hear clearly that engine started malfunctioning just as it went over my house. Yeah, pretty wild, right? Interesting that it didn't start malfunctioning till it went over my house. Yeah. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I was merely out there filming. I didn't cause it, but something else did, I have a feeling. And I think I captured that happening on this video. So we're going to go back over parts of it and let you guys see what I saw. Okay, it's just getting ready to come over the roof here. There he is. He's coming right over the house. Now, the interesting thing is this bird keeps showing up in the photos. Hear that? There's the bird. Do you see that? Look how close. Now, really pay attention to the plane. Really keep your eye on that plane. It's coming. Really pay attention. Do you see that? Let me back it up just a hair. Just as it passes. You see that flash? Keep watching. Keep watching really close. Did you see that? Back it up a tiny bit. You see that? That flash? See it again? See that flash? Caught it right during a flash there. See? It's multiple flashes right there. And there was a flash right there, straight down. I think there's a few other flashes that I ended up seeing. Yep, right there was one. And when I first saw these flashes, I was like, I wonder um, if I'm seeing the engine malfunction and the uh, like a fire that happens when a vehicle or an engine is not functioning properly or firing right. Sometimes it'll leave some of the fuel in um, the cylinder and it'll flame out like that when it comes out of the exhaust. But this wasn't coming from the exhaust. These flashes are coming from above and hitting that plane. I don't know if there was any more after this point. Bird again. I don't know if you're gonna see any more flashes on this or not.
Better plan that thing. That engine's not sounding right.
Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, yeah, I wondered about that too, sun reflections, but you could clearly see in some of those flashes were coming from above. And some of them were off to the sides, which was interesting. But I thought that that was really interesting considering how it started having trouble just as it passed over the house. And one of the orb ships was in the area. Yeah, that bird did zipped right by, didn't it? But yeah, I wanted to share that with you because it was such an interesting, the whole thing was just weird. The one plane going by all day long, the other one enters the scene, they nearly crash. The other one, the big one, takes off to the south, didn't see it again. And then just as this one passes over the house, it immediately started having engine trouble. And then the weird flashes, which I did account for sun glinting because I know that's a thing. But if you really look at that, those flashes are not just sun glinting. But yeah, the whole event was just really odd. But I would definitely wanted to share those with you guys. I was planning on doing a stream probably Sunday, because I have other things I wanted to fill you in on. Let's see. Yeah, I've got several things that I wanted to fill you all in on. But that's the video I said I would share with during the last stream, where I talked about this particular event occurring. So I'm thinking I should upload the video directly so you guys can take a really good look at it. Because it'll be a little better quality and you'll be able to see it better. And I was trying to achieve that and get better quality sound by using that second program, but obviously that's not happening. It didn't work. So I do hope you all have an absolutely fantastic weekend. It's gloomy and rainy here, so just a cold, normal fall day here. Anyway, I hope to see you on Sunday. If anybody needs to contact me or has questions or anything like that, my email is criticalbreak@outlook.com. And yes, have a brilliant weekend. And oh, here we go. Remember, I'm so glad she made this for me. It's so awesome. Anyway, out past the stars millions of times. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.